Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another night of sharing. Of course, my name is Kimberly McLemore, and we are here at the WSBI Your Resource for Success podcast show. But we have a special edition tonight. It's all about moments with Lady K and
Mr. T.
All right. Well, tonight is something kind of unique for us, a little special. We're, been looking at changing the dynamics a little bit of our show, talking more on some real and raw things that are going on and events and within our lives and outside of our lives, so that we can have better conversation with our audience. And the goal, of course, is, we want people to absolutely, get involved with the show, ask some questions. We really want people to give us their thoughts so that we're not just giving just our opinion, even though we feel our opinion is very valuable. We really want people to think about how they can get involved with the conversation. But before we go any further, I want to talk to my wonderful guest and my major loving co-host, Mr. T. Mr. T, Mr. T, Mr. T, Mr. T.
What's up? What's up, Lady K?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's so good to see you again. I just saw you last night.
I know. I told you this is a special week. This is the week that you and I get to see each other for like 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Make up for the 2 weeks I haven't seen you.
It's like bam, bam, bam. Hey, hey, hey.
So I'm excited about tonight. So, before we kind of dive into anything, say hello to the listeners and our viewers, and let's talk tell a little bit about yourself and all the good stuff.
Okay, well, hello, listeners out there in Nova Land and beyond. Nova being Northern Virginia, of course. And, of course, those here in the DMVers, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. What's up to all those ears out there listening to us? My name is Mr. T, also known as Tarek. You can call me T, Mr. T. Just don't call me late for dinner. Anyway, I am a professional working man here in Northern Virginia, hanging out here, having a good time. During the daytime, I'm a professional. I do what I do. And by night, I change my cape, and I am the owner and founder of Move with T. That's MOVEWITHTEE LLC. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. And I am a fitness professional. I do dance fitness, cycle, as well as a couple of other formats that I would love for you all to come and join me in doing. I'm also a contributing writer to a fitness blog that's online, which I'll tell you more about later in our What's New With You section, because that's a new endeavor that started recently. And I'm also a doggy daddy, and I'm watching my doggy baby leave my feet where he was to go smell his coat, because he has a coat. And I'm looking at him smelling his coat now, so I guess he misses the outside. Other than that, I like to have a good time, like to inspire other people to be great, and I'm trying to inspire your day one life at a time.
All right. Well, I guess you can't beat that. You can't beat it at all.
All right.
So I'm going to just wrap this up real quickly. So talk a little bit about who I am. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know me, a lot of people call me author Kimberly McLemore, but of course, I definitely have some other things going on in my life besides being an author. I'm also the CEO of the Women's Small Business Initiative, which is an online platform that's available for free for all women-owned businesses. So they can come on there and share some of their most prime resources and information about being in business and just having the opportunity to collaborate and connect all across the world and the country. So there's no reason why you can't get on there and, like I said, connect as a member for free. But the big part of it is that we have to always remind people that, hey, you can't always be in the room. So this is just another way in the format that I provide this neat platform for women in business. But also, as you can see, The WSBI Your Resource for Success podcast program is also a part of me and comes as a collective part of the WSBI LLC business. And like I said earlier, I am an author, so I have the author Kimberly M. McLemore LLC, which behind that scene is self-publishing workshops that I provide. I'm a book coach. I'm actually certified to be a trainer as a self-publishing trainer. Also with that comes the other part of me, which is my other new platform, which is a talk radio and TV network LP that I am the co-owner of with Miss Ashley Little. So I have a lot going on. We are actually very excited about it. I actually own a Vigilant Broadcasting radio station, so you will see more of that. But in the future, and if you haven't already seen some of our new shows and co-hosts, and she has created broadcasts, we have a ton of different radio stations. We have got a lot of different networks underneath us as well. So it's been an exciting couple of months. But without further ado, let's kind of move on into why we are actually here. So that's just a little bit more about who we are and what we're doing. And everybody, I want you to know, like I said earlier when I came on and started the show, this is a special show we do consistently once a month. It's live. We have a lot of things we want to talk about. And the big thing we want everybody to understand is that come join the conversation. Give us some questions. Realize that it's not just always our opinion, but at the same token, we want to make sure we're providing you valuable content and realize that, yes, it's our personal opinion, but it's also our professional opinion as well. So now let's dive into, oh my goodness, the topic of discussion tonight is wide open.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Wide open. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make this real good. We're gonna make this crawling. I'm gonna make this, something that people can actually see so they can understand what we're really talking about. So the topic tonight is it's okay to say no. And I'm adding that as a crawler, as they call it. So, I'm real excited. But let me get this thing.
I'm going to take a picture of our screen here. So in case you see my phone up there, I'm going to post. I'm going to take a picture. There we go. All right.
Here it comes. All right. And the reason why, we want to talk about this topic, and I just thought it was very, very good timing for it. We have all the things we got going on in the country, all the things that are going on in our lives, our personal lives. I kept thinking about this word because I've had a few things going on with myself personally that I'm learning how to use the word no in a more professional and personal way that it benefits me to be able to move forward in things in my life without feeling overly stressed, without feeling like if I say no, that the world's going to come to an end. And so our discussion is really going to be focused on how do you feel after using the word no? Are you relieved? At peace with your decision, or do you apologize every time that you feel like you have when you're saying the word no? So I'm gonna let T dive in a little bit more, and then I'm gonna chime back into some more of my thoughts and feelings and understanding of what it means to say the word no. So T, what do you think about our topic of discussion tonight?
I, first of all, absolutely love it. So, as I mentioned to you yesterday, I was going to wait and share my thoughts about saying no. First of all, and I learned this a long time ago. I forget exactly where I learned it along the way, but someone said to me, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to apologize for saying no. You don't have to be sad about saying no. Saying no is just, it establishes, number one, your boundaries. I'm very big up on that. I've had people in my life in recent years who I've had to say no to multiple times because no matter how many times I said no, sometimes they would keep encroaching upon my boundaries. They would try to step over my boundaries. And I said, no, this is my line right here. And this is where I need you to stop. And so eventually, after many, many times of just reiterating that this is my hard stop, they stop trying to cross those lines. But so many times I see people who they'll say no, but then they'll acquiesce. And I'll say, oh, well, okay. But if you don't want to, you don't want to. And you don't have to. And we don't have to feel any type of way about that. If I don't want to do something for you, sometimes it's I can't do it. Like I don't have the capability of being able to actually execute it. Sometimes I will not do it because I just simply don't want to. And then sometimes I can't do it because it's not something that interests me, or as I spoke about in one of my recent motivational things, is it's not in line with my purpose and my vision. So
Mhm.
even though it sounds like, oh, that's great for you, but it's not in line with what I need to be focusing on. So it's taking me from what I'm working toward, from my own goals. So yeah, I like to do it, but I need to focus on me. And we don't have to be apologetic for it. So many times, so many of us will, like I said, acquiesce and say, okay. And we shouldn't be saying maybe or that okay dot 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 when we really mean no.
Right.
No is a complete sentence, and we should not feel compromised by saying no. Because when we say yes to something, we accept it. Oh yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do it.
Mhm.
But when we say no, that's the only time that we actually find that we feel compromised, and it shouldn't be that way. So I stand by saying that no is a complete sentence. It's okay to say no, period, and then not have to explain yourself.
Mhm.
Just say no, I'm not going to do this. And whether even with your job, which this is a sidebar, it's good to know your scope of practice. Know your job, what your responsibilities are. Because if your boss comes to you and asks you to do something that's outside the scope of your responsibilities, yes, there's other duties as assigned. And you have to sometimes think about it. Is this an other duty as assigned? Or is this something outside the realm of what I can do? I work in healthcare, and scope of practice, for instance, is a very big thing. And any of those healthcare practitioners out there watching will understand if you do something outside your scope of practice, that's a problem. You know,
Mhm.
you only are concentrated in this area, and you should never step outside of that. And you can exercise that no, I cannot do this, and then you can say this is why. Like I've got this list right here of why I cannot do this. This is my role. This is what I do. You need to find someone who can do that for you. And then in our personal life, do it as well. Just no. And I learned that probably, I'm gonna be honest, I'm 41. At 15, 20 years ago, I say I learned that and I understood it and I applied it.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm okay with saying no.
Right. And I agree with it. And it does take many years. I think a lot of times we put ourselves in positions that we feel that, oh, if I don't say yes to this person, they're going to get upset with me. They're not going to want to do any business with me, or they're not going to want to be my friend. We take things way too personal. And like you were saying here just a minute ago, you were talking about how does it really benefit you? Is it
Mm-hmm.
really something that you want to do? Are you really getting what you need out of it? Or is it just, like you said, that, well, okay, I'm just going to do it just because they asked me to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's never a good feeling. We all know that. We all have had that feeling of like, ugh, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What is the purpose and reason behind it? And so, you said, hey, it's taking me till I got into my 40s to figure it out. Well, I'm 50 something years old. So I'm like, okay, 52, and I'm still figuring it out, So
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think it's about so much about age as it is about really knowing who you are as an
Right.
individual.
Right.
And really understanding your value and your strength and realizing that that it's not always, like you said, just a good fit, but at the end of the day too, is it really worth wearing yourself out because you're always trying to be the yes man?
Right.
And we see this all the time on our jobs, with our colleagues, in our personal businesses, just with our friends and our acquaintances. It's a consistent thing that people feel that saying no is like the worst word. Like, they say, well, no means no. Yes, it really does
Mm-hmm.
mean no. And I'm just kind of at that point where I feel like, I'm at the point that I don't apologize anymore for what I do. I don't apologize for what I don't want to do. And I'm not going to apologize for believing in what it is I know that is right for me. So it's just a part, I think, of maturity and just knowing myself and realizing that life is too short, and that you have to learn to live with the decisions that we all make. We all make decisions, and we all know those decisions come with good consequences and bad consequences, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think that the intention of trying to please people really becomes a bad part of life, for you, because you're constantly trying to feel like, oh man, well, how's that person going to think? How's my business going to run? Are they going to say something negative about me? Well, people are going to talk about you anyway.
Right.
And I just really truly believe that saying the word no is not a bad thing, and it's not a bad part of our vocabulary. I think that it's not often said enough. And I do believe it doesn't have to be rude. Unfortunately, there are some people that you may have to put in a certain place or position because they're just not getting it. They're not understanding that, hey, you were not the only person in this picture here, right? You've invited me here on this picture, this platform with you, right next to each other. So, it's learned to hear me out, understand that it's not just your reasoning behind it that's important. It's both of ours, and I think it's always that what fits. And I think a big part of building the word no into your vocabulary, and a part of it being your regular everyday relationship with the word no, is understanding too how it affects your family. Sometimes, we're so busy trying to do things to benefit ourselves as business people that we don't always see how it affects the people that we love that are around us, because we're telling them, no, we can't do this, but then we can't say no to the people that we really don't want to be, at that point in time, do an event with, or just do business with, period, or just, want to be involved. We're just so busy trying to make that moment happen and please that individual. And then after we get done, it's like you've lost out on so much, because now you feel like you're making up for what it is that you could have said no to in the beginning anyway, right?
Exactly. And there was something you said just in the middle of what you were sharing about no, and I wanted to say that no, if you think about it, that's the only word that people understand, no matter what language they speak, no matter what culture they're from, no matter what country you're in. If you say no, no literally means no. Some people say ni, or I guess there are other ways to say it, but if you say no, if you go anywhere in the world right now and say no, people will understand that you mean stop, no, back away, this is it, stop. And so it's one of those things, like we have different ways of saying yes. We say yes, we can say sí if you're in Spanish, or oui in French, and that's the scope of my language. But so sorry to limit myself, but there are other ways of saying yes. And even think about it, in other cultures, even saying love, like in Spanish, there are like 3 or 4 different ways to say that you love something. But with saying no, it's very finite. It is 2 letters, 1 word, no. And people will be like, okay, and then usually they'll move on. If they keep on pressing, then it's okay to put a little bass in your voice. No. And then if you gotta square up a little bit so they take it serious.
Get froggy with the person.
So you're like, you give them that look. What was that from for Fresh Prince? When Ashley was getting bullied. Like Will said, you gotta get that little tick, like back away. It's all right, whatever it was.
Right.
I saw that recently, but it's okay to say no. It is so. When we say no, we don't have to take all this time to explain. We don't have to lie. We don't have to make excuses.
Right.
And I feel like so many times when we say no, we want to add a caveat to that. We want to add no, but we don't have to do that. When we say yes, we can say yes unequivocally, and it's like, okay, great. And the biggest part, and I know this is more so with women than with men, but it happens with men too. So don't get me wrong. Sometimes we're worried that when we say no, that we're going to hurt the other person's feelings.
Right.
And if it's something that I am not going to be doing, or I can't do, or I'm not interested in, I can't really worry about your feelings, because in this case, it's kind of okay to be selfish. And if I know that I don't want to be a part of whatever it is, for whatever reason, there's no reason for me to have to compromise myself and feel like
Mhm.
I'm going along intentionally, intentionally in this case, and
Mhm.
and kind of tacking myself on to an endeavor that I have no passion for, when I could be at home watching Netflix if that's what I want to do instead of doing whatever it is. And so it's very important, for people to really think about why they're saying no, understand that they're saying no, and being
Mhm.
okay with it.
Right. And that's the key word. It's being okay with it. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's about realizing that, like you said, you don't shouldn't have to always have an explanation. I mean, as human beings, we're just prone to explain,
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, well, this is the reason why, blah, blah, blah. But 90% of the time, the person that you're explaining it to doesn't understand it, doesn't care, because it's because you're not going along with what they're saying anyway and what they may need
Exactly.
for. So I absolutely agree, that saying the word no, it is exactly what you said. It is a word, it is a sentence, it is completely in full. And even when you look up the word in the dictionary, it tells you specifically it means denial or refusal. It's just that simple, So it's
And it's
like,
not denial, not denial like I'm denying that this exists. It's denial like you cannot encroach
right.
upon these borders.
Exactly. Well, it's no different than I look at it in a way of you're invading my space.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what I want to do. It's not that I don't appreciate it, but this is not where I'm at right now. And
Mm-hmm.
I just think a lot of times we just put more pressure on ourselves because we are in business for ourselves. You're trying to please so many people, and then you start to think about at the end of the day, are we actually pleasing ourselves? Are we
Mm-hmm.
really truly doing what we need to do in order to be successful for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, whether it's personally, professionally, or it doesn't have to be any of that. It's just sometimes just having that weight off of your shoulder of realizing that, every day you're living your life around people and you're working around people, and you constantly have to say yes. And even when we're on our jobs, we're always under that pressure of having to show up, do what we say we're supposed to do. Nobody wants you to have an opinion, even when you know that your opinion is very valuable and it's actually the right thing to do. But then you're constantly thinking, well, if I say this or if I do this, I may not have a job tomorrow, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Hey, you preaching to the choir right here, because
right.
we'll talk offline about that. But
So there's always these things, things we have to constantly deal with the pressures of today, and even pressures that we don't even bring on ourselves or not even a part of. It still is comes with and towards us on a consistent basis because we're surrounded by so much chaos. So I think it's always important to have that great balance. It's so funny because I was talking on an interview the other day, and me and the young lady were having a conversation, and I'm not going to say too much about the interview itself, but we were just really having a great conversation about realizing how you're truly trying to balance it all, and was talking about using the word balance, and how
mm-hmm.
it's not even about really balancing. It's about putting things in certain places, processes and things in places within your life so that you don't feel like you have to constantly balance,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to worry about saying no all the time or having to say yes, because you've already put things in place to know that this is what you need to have currently for your life and what's going to make you a better person, and won't hinder you from doing the things that you want to do. And actually, if you're going to say yes, you always want to be supportive in the right way, right?
Right, exactly. Because in speaking on that, just to tack on, when you're saying yes and agreeing to be a part of, whether usually it's somebody else's vision,
Mm-hmm.
you want to be fully present for that and fully supportive of their vision, because you're not actually being supportive if you really don't want to be there. And as a fitness instructor, I've shared with a friend of mine, just very, very honestly, I was like, I would rather have 20 people come to class regularly who are giving their all and they're all in, making all this noise, hooping and hollering, having a great time, working out to their fullest at their 100% mark, than to
Mm-hmm.
have 60 people in there half-assing it. And I'm
Exactly.
just going to be honest. Excuse my
Exactly.
language, but I would rather have a smaller group of people giving their best, giving their all, pushing, than to have a whole bunch of people, like a packed house, and everybody's in there like, I'm just gonna
Right,
give a
right.
little bit, because I mean that doesn't feed you. That doesn't do anything for you when you're sharing energy. Because as they say, energy cannot be created nor destroyed; only merely transferred. So if we're
Mhm.
transferring energy, I want 100% from everybody because I'm giving 110. So I want everybody to give 100 as well. If you're giving me 50, then all I can give you back is 50.
You're right, because we react off of what's in front of us, right? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's normally with everything. But I like what you were saying, that is it's better to have a handful that's going to do it right than to have the the large quantity of people who are going to just walk in, they're barely there, and you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what they're doing. And I think the thing that drives me crazy is to see somebody in class and they're going picking up their phone and they're hanging out and they're having this great conversation in the middle of the class. And you're like, wait a minute now. I'm like, wait a minute now. You didn't hear class. I mean, I get it. Things happen,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm thinking, I'm so into what I'm doing, I don't have time to worry about my phone ringing.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
like you said, it's giving yourself all, and that's what anything we're doing, whether we're on the
Mm-hmm.
job, whether we're and doing things like you said with our business. It's just really having that comfort zone of understanding that saying no is okay, and
Mm-hmm.
that if we're going to be a part of something, we want to be a part of it 100%, not just half of it. In order just to say I participated and I did what you asked me to do. And I think I also have learned in some of my experiences that even when you say yes and you're there and then you're putting in that 190%, you find that the person that you said yes to barely even knows that you exist at that point. you
That's
know
another little piece to it. Oh, that's another little layer right there. We just added on something.
Exactly. It's like, okay, you wanted me here. I've participated even against my own will, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then you find yourself caught up in this web, so to speak, this web of,
Mm-hmm.
how did I get here? Why am I standing in front of this individual, or all things that are going around me? And there's really no appreciation of that I'm even here participating as requested, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
you said, that's another whole topic and that's another whole show.
But but that ties into understanding why you're saying no. Because if you
Hmm.
realize you're going to be just a prop for someone else, if you're willing to do that, then that's fine. But if you know
Right.
it's not useful for your time, and all of our days are numbered on this earth. It doesn't matter how
Oh.
old you are. It doesn't matter what you look like, what race you are, what your
Mhm.
gender is, what you were born as when you got here, who you are today. All of our days have a specific number, a specific expiration date.
That's right.
Mine's going to differ from yours, and yours is going to differ from mine, as will from the next
Hmm.
person. And we want to make the most of the time that we have here. And that's why I say, if something's not in line with what your goals are, and it's important to understand and take time out and really know what your goals are, for the year, for your life, just for your existence. And if you
Hmm.
don't know what your goals are, you just spending time with people just filling your time until you die. And I personally don't want to just spend my time with a whole bunch of people that I don't give a flip for, at the end of the
Right, right,
day,
right.
and don't feel
Exactly.
like I've gotten anything from my life, or I haven't produced anything from my existence.
Hmm.
I want to know that I was here, I accomplished some things, and that there's a legacy that's going to follow after I've gone. And so if you just hanging around playing with whatever fuzz is in in your belly button, then you could do that and have fun with it.
Exactly.
And
And
I'll
leave
catch
me
you
out
on
of
the
the
next.
equation, right?
Yeah, I'll catch you when I catch you around the street and be like, "Hey, what's
Oh
up?"
my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. And and you're right. You're right. I just think though, like I said, I think a lot of people feel that they're trying to do the right thing, but at the end of the day, I think some people just don't even realize that, they don't even know how to say no. They're putting themselves into something that they're not prepared for. They haven't prepared for properly. And then, like I said, you're involving other people. But the
Hmm.
other thing I want to bring back up here real quickly, we have people
Yeah.
who are chiming in late on this conversation. I want you guys to know you are looking at the two most famous, phenomenal people here. This is the Lady K and Mr. T show, and our main topic of discussion tonight. And I know there's somebody out here who can correlate with this, understand this word, and understand this topic. It's okay to say no. It's really trying to understand. We're having a conversation about, are we at peace with saying the word no? Do we apologize for the decision after we say the word no? We're talking about this in simple format because we really want people to be involved. And like I said earlier, we've come on the show and we're trying to do some new great things to the show by, hey, if you have questions, you have comments, you have concerns, let us know. We really want to be able to have that one-on-one conversation with all of our listeners out here, and all of our viewers, because we feel that that our topics, and what we bring to the table as a show, and we've been doing this show now for, gosh, I'm a year's coming up soon. I can't actually can't believe we've been here this long. Yeah, I'm thinking, wow, it has been close to being here. But our show is really truly about motivating people, clearing up some negativity in your life. Talking about, we got some other things we'll be talking about here in a few minutes, like local events going on, all new things that are going on with us, as well as some fashion tips and so forth. So we are trying to make our show not just conversation, but our conversation is all about great value and content. So we're going to go back to the topic for a little bit longer, and then we're going to move on because we have some other great things that we want to share with everybody in the community.
Yeah.
Here in the Washington, D.C. metro area. We both live in Virginia, but we are a part of this. And so we're just always excited about having we've been doing a monthly show. And who knows, if we continue to grow like we're growing and do what we're doing, it may be a weekly come next year. We'll see.
I'm into it.
Hey, how you doing?
I like to do my Cardi B voice.
All right. All right. So just a little bit more about our topic. Okay. So is there anything, I guess, now let's talk about, we've talked a lot about how we feel, the things that we go through personally. So let's give a little advice. What advice would you give to an individual who's right now, they're hearing us, they're listening, and they're saying, man, this show was for me tonight. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give them in reference to how to move forward once you have said no? We're not going to look back in the rearview mirror. It's about moving forward.
So my advice to someone who said no is, number one, being okay with your decision. It's okay to decline. I'm not interested. I wish you well. And then keep it moving. The other piece would be not to over-explain yourself. So if you can't do it because of XYZ, just say, hey, I have another commitment. Thank you for the opportunity. Keep it going. And also, and I think this is probably the most important, don't lie. So don't make up something, because we all know what happens when people lie, because you'll forget that you lied and told somebody that you couldn't do it because you had something to do for work on the 4th, and then you're posting pictures of yourself on the 4th in the Bahamas live on a jet ski somewhere or something. Right. And they're like, oh, well, she didn't say that she was going to the Bahamas, or he. Mm-hmm. So that's, I think, maybe that should be number one. Don't lie. Because lies get people caught up, and then you have to remember. So I would say that just, don't over-explain yourself. Be okay with a declination, with declining. Be okay with saying no. And then, like I said, don't lie. And last but not least, move forward from it. If you have a genuine interest in the person or persons that we're doing whatever event or project or whatever it is, who wanted you to sign on, after their event, if you're genuinely interested in those people, just check in. Hey, how'd it go? Let them know that, hey, I know I couldn't be there because of whatever, but how'd it go? Check in, because you'll be surprised. Just checking in with people goes a long way. You know, because sometimes people don't realize that you're even interested. They may have written you off like, oh, you're not interested. And maybe there's something that they may do later that is actually in line with what your goals are and what your visions are. And then you all may be able to work on something together. I'm using work as the example here. But even just in your personal life, maybe somebody wants to move and you don't want to help them move, but there might be something later that you can help them on, like when they get into their place. Maybe you can help them decorate, you know, or plan a housewarming, or plan something completely different. So just to put it in layman's terms, you know, just because you can't be there right now doesn't mean you can't be there at all. So you don't have to write it off. And if it's something that you do want to write off and you're not interested in being in any way a part of whatever they're doing, because we all know we know those people that we like them, but sometimes they be doing stuff. And we be like,
you don't want to be attached to it, and
like,
it's okay.
Yeah, you be like, girl, that's cool for you. I'll meet you for lunch in a couple Sundays, and then just leave it at that. So, but just understand, you know, to be okay with that. So that would be my personal advice. And I do believe in giving experience, not advice. And these are things that I've done with folks. You know, I can't be there, but I can promote your event. I can't be there, but I support you. I'll donate to your cause. I can't be there, but maybe next time hit me up. So, you know, that's what I do. So I can only tell people what I do. And like I said, I don't lie and be like, oh, I can't be there because blah, 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 because my dog is sick, because he's not sick and he's sitting on the couch right now. So I'm not going to lie about that.
What are you talking about, and why are you bringing me up in your conversations? What he's saying, right?
Exactly. He's like, what I got to do with it? I'm just minding my business.
I'm sitting up and being good. He's like, why you want to treat me like that, Demi?
Come on, Daddy. Human number 2. What's up?
Exactly.
Now, what about you?
Well, and I like your advice. I think I could agree 100% with what you're saying. And for me, I think just that the simplicity of it is just being at peace with it. I mean, that would be the best advice I could give, on top of everything that you said, because you're exactly right. But I think the biggest thing is truly being at peace with your decision and knowing that your decision will come with a good consequence or bad consequence. And I always tell people I believe in things happen for a reason. So whatever that decision may be and the reason why you said no, there's always something behind it. And you know, that as an individual, you have to figure that out. So it's not, don't make it about the other person. It's really about you. You know, and I think the most important piece. So that would be my advice on this topic of it is okay to say no. I think that we have gone into this very deeply tonight, and you know, it's real, and we want to be real. We want to be raw. We don't want people to feel like we're making things up and going through this process. But all the things that we talk about on our shows is about our experiences as well. Well, you know, on the personal side as well as the professional side, and then even our collaboration. You know, everything that we have done together, it's taken time. And we're continuing to grow, and we're seeing each other grow and supporting each other on both sides. So it's not just about me. It's not just about you. It's about what we both see within each other. And we realize that even if we say no to each other, it's not an offensive thing. It's because it may not fit. Whatever the case may be, we already know it's okay, but we can still talk to each other with the same day. And there's no big issue about it. Right?
Exactly.
Right. So, you know, and I think a lot of times, like I said, when people make these decisions, they really aren't comfortable with their decision because they're not in peace with it, because their reasoning is not either the right reason, or whatever that reason may be, it's not set right with them, and it's been something that's coming along for a long time. So yes, I think that we've done great with this topic tonight. And like I said, for those who are out there listening or watching, if you have any questions for us, or you just want to reach out to us privately, you're more than welcome to do that. But we're going to move on with the rest of our show because we have a couple other things, and this time is always ticking away very quickly. You know, I guess let's talk about, you know, what do you have new going on with yourself there, Mr. T? Is there anything you want to share? with the viewers and our listeners tonight?
Sure, I would love to. Well, other than my new little shape up deal I got going on here, which
Yeah, I seen that. It's like you trying to look out a little too cute. I'm not. I keep my eye on you, okay?
I was like, well, I do a little something, something. Actually, this was, well, to be perfectly honest, it's new, but me and the razor had a disagreement about how my beard was, my mustache was supposed to be lined up, and all the men out there, they understand. So we had a disagreement. I wanted it like here, and my razor wanted it a little bit different. And then
Oh,
the two sides came out a little, So I said, well,
mm,
we're just gonna get rid of it. That's okay. I'll look Dominican for a couple days. I'll be fine. Shout out to the Dominicans out there. Shout out. Because I get
but
that a lot. They be like, "Are you
look
Dominican?" And
good.
I'll be like, "No, I'm not Dominican." But
Right, right,
whatever.
right. Well, like you said, it's okay to be somebody new, and we can recreate ourselves every day,
Hmm.
right? That's
Exactly.
what it's about: recreation and looking good because you're looking good.
Exactly. Well, and I was like, I'm rocking the cap today because I
I
was like,
see that. I
oh, I
was
got
like,
to.
oh, come on, looking slide and slick
What
tonight.
was I would say? Speaking of Spanish speaking folk, I got to go see my barber Jaime. If you don't mind me giving a shout out to Marvin's Barbershop over on Richmond Highway, I was like, yeah, I can't go online and be looking like who did it and what for. So I said, I'll wait till I can make my appointment and get over there. So we got a little. It's not bad. It's
No,
not horrendous, but I don't want to be on TV,
I see you
be
look fine.
on record like that.
I seen you, but you look like you're ready to go to Hollywood or something. Look like you're ready to take
Oh,
that big step. So
oh,
you got that
oh.
hat, got
I'm
that
just gonna give
look.
a little pose, give a little
I mean,
something.
hey, right now we're talking about what is new with you, and right now
Right.
I can see you moving on to something new.
Hey, who knows who we don't know
Hmm,
who's watching. Who knows? I might get a modeling contract. but but anyway, that aside,
oh my
one of the
gosh.
biggest things that's new with me is, and I shared this with everyone on our last broadcast, is www.thezbeat.com. That's THEZBEAT.com. It's a fitness blog that I am a part of, and I'm one of the few instructors in the area that have been hand selected and agreed to participate in this blog. We do all things Zumba because I do teach Zumba,
Hmm.
Zumba and Zumba dance and dance fitness, and just things and fitness in general. And it's all about motivation, inspiration, and we also give you resources and tools to be more successful. So even if you aren't a dance fitness instructor, if you're a fitness enthusiast, or maybe you just need a little motivation or want to find some interesting stuff, you can go on and check us out. Once again, it's www.thezbeat.com. So you can find us there. Like I said, I do a monthly offering for motivational tips, not only for instructors and their classes, but also for you as a participant. I do a little bit of both. Each article is focused both ways sometimes, and then sometimes it's from one perspective or the other. And also, stay tuned for something new that I'll be doing. I'll be doing a little music corner there
Oh,
monthly as well. It's going to be a new offering, so be ready for that. That's
wow.
going to be awesome, and we're actually building a lot of momentum and have a lot of good things going there. Move with T, MOVEWITHTEE is doing some wonderful things as well, and stay on the lookout for events coming up. Working on a master class coming up pretty soon.
Uh,
And I don't like to just throw out a master class. I like it to be very well planned and
absolutely.
executed. So just be looking out for that. I'll be choosing some folks to kind of work with me on some things that I'm going to be doing. So be ready for that. And I know I, and a future guest that we'll have on our show are going to be working for something that we did last year when WSBI Move with T did our wonderful 70s party.
Yay.
70s, yeah. So
Yes,
we're
yes,
we're
yes.
going to
Got
be
excited about that
announcing,
again.
yeah. So we'll be announcing stuff like that pretty soon. And so that's what I got going on new. And what about you, Lady K?
Well, you know me. I always got something going on, right?
Hey,
But
hey.
yeah, it's actually been it's been extremely busy year, and we're not even halfway through the year. So,
Just getting started.
Right. And I mean, I even started on day one on January 2nd. I was doing a book signing and event, in North Carolina. So it's just been going and going and going from there. But I do have a great event coming up in a few weeks in Atlanta. So I'm real excited about going back to the Madu bookstore, and I will be doing a lecture, and I will be doing a book signing there. But the lecture is going to be, I think, the most important part in this time, since it's my second go around. Really, I'm going to have the opportunity to talk about moving beyond domestic violence, and so that's really an important piece for me. As most people do know of me, they do know that I have been, I was in an abusive relationship several years ago. As a matter of fact, it's been 7 years ago. So that obviously has spurred into my first book, not really my first book, but my second book, which was the memoir, Deception, A Real Look into Domestic Violence. So that was a big part of what I do. Matter of fact, let me just pull up the flyer here real quick on this event that's coming up. Like I said, I'm not going to be at the Madu bookstore. The thing that's great about this bookstore, it is the second largest Black-owned bookstore in Atlanta, Georgia. So for those who live in the area of Atlanta or surrounding areas, please come out and support. It's a free event. I would love to meet you. And if you're another author, come out and support. And so we can find out who you are. And I'm sure that the owner, Nia Dali, would love to meet you. She's been a phenomenal person to work with. And so, like I said, I'm real excited about that. That's going to be on March 17th, which is actually on a Sunday from 2:30 to 5:30. So I have that coming up. In between all of that, all of those things coming up, I have a lot of interviews coming up that you will see me start promoting here soon. I was just on a TV interview a couple weeks ago that will be coming out the middle of March. I have about 2 or 3 more podcast interviews coming out in the month of March, and got something else special coming out. I'm actually starting to promote. We have a magazine article I was featured in that'll be coming out in a couple of days. So I'm really excited about that. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of things coming up. Got another great event. They'll be heading back to Easton, Pennsylvania as well in August. And I'm going to be collaborating with 2 other individuals, Miss Christy Met, who is the owner of Joyful Self Wellness Center. And I'll be also collaborating with Wandra Kane, who is the owner of W.C. Kane Interiors. She's an interior designer, but also she has this phenomenal new empowering women's networking program. So we're going to be collaborating with it. And we're also going to be bringing on a new woman that's coming from North Carolina who will be talking a lot about social media and marketing. And her name is Michelle. And I'm going to mess up her last name for sure. It's Dodefinger. I'll get it right before we have the event in August, I promise. So yeah, so I have a lot of things going on and in the making, and and I'm just looking forward to it, and consistently collaborating and working with other individuals to make sure that all the resources, because like I said, my show is particularly about sharing resources. The business of WSBI is always about resources, because as I always explain to people, we're doing nothing new. We're just making it better. And so we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but we definitely don't want people to have to go through things that they don't need to necessarily when it comes to being in business. So, collaboration is always the key. And I'm actually really excited about the new things coming up here in the next month. Month of March is going to be crazy, which is even better because month of March is all about International Women's Day. So, hey, we're doing it as usual, and we're going to keep it going from there.
Hey, well, you know what they say, March, you roll in like a lion, roll out like a lamb.
Hey.
You're coming in strong.
Yeah, honey, I'm roaring so much that I had to bring myself down a little bit. I'm like, woo! This is getting to be too much, but no, it's great now. It's all about taking the great opportunities that are there, and then as well as learning to streamline. So my big theme this year is making big bold moves. Of course, I with the talk radio and TV network thing, that's a huge thing for me and Miss Ashley Little. So I'm really extremely excited about that. That we have going on. And so like I said, it's about bringing it in, hard this year, but also being more thoughtful and streamlining things so we're not working harder, but working smarter.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a new year and it's still pumping hard. And for those who have dropped off at the end of the earth when it comes to, oh, I got this new year and I'm gonna do the things I say I'm gonna do. Don't stop living your dreams. Stay focused. Keep moving. Today is February 28th. So we're on the last day of February. Tomorrow is March 1st. So I'm hoping that people are still keeping their New Year's resolutions. They don't have to be New Year's resolutions. Hold on to them all year long. Don't come in and then just phase out, and then we're wondering what happened to you, right?
And that happens so much. Well, that's another topic for another day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of actually something I wrote for a blog for last month. It was about staying true. And actually, I'll be posting like the unedited version of that on my website coming soon.
Oh, wait a minute. Go back to that word.
Website coming soon.
Yay!
Yes.
Look, we have to exchange websites because mine is also coming soon. I wasn't supposed to say anything, but I'm like, yeah, I gotta have a new one for the author side. So yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, so we'll, with the platform and our shows, like I said, that's the whole beauty about what we do is we're here sharing, we're going to be talking about, and then we also will be coming back next month and we're going to even have a better and bigger show next month. And I'm really excited about that show next month because we're going to be really living and talking about doing Zumba, the meaning behind it, what it means to be a Zen, what it means to have exercise as being a part of our life. So it's really going to be focused on strictly what we are as Zumba instructors. Now, even though I haven't instructed for many years because my life has gone so crazy, I am still a Zen. So, we're going to also have another special guest with us. And even though she may not want to be, she's going to be on here anyway. Her name is Miss Tanja White, and she's going to Zen. She's a new Zen. So we're going to be talking about all these great experiences next month. So like I said, I'm excited about that. So our show next month is strictly going to be on the cuff about what it means to exercise, what it means to stay healthy, what it means to be a Zumba instructor, what it means to be a Zen, all of those wonderful things. So,
love it.
Love it too. So, we still have a few more minutes, and I think this is a good time to go through and talk about our moment of inspiration. I mean, I know that we have been pretty inspiring this evening about the feeling of saying the word no and how it affects us personally and professionally. But also at the same time, I think it's always important to think about those patches. Do we have people out there who are listening who need that hug, had a rough day, or just want to be inspired? What do you want to say to them tonight?
Oh, okay. So, I want to say a lot, but I want to say keep
3 minutes.
I know, right? I want to say so much. First off, here's a big hug, air hug.
Yeah, hugs and love, smooches.
So, I guess because I like to keep my piece for the moment of inspiration in line with our topic. So, I guess my thought would be, if you want to say no, don't say maybe.
Love it. And you don't have to say anything else. I mean, it really truly falls in line with what we've been talking about all night. Is at the end of the day, be at peace with what you're saying and why you're saying no. And even if you're saying yes, be at peace with it. And I think, like I said, our topic of discussion has been something that people need. And we all are going through different things, but it's nothing worse than doing something that you don't want to do, and you don't have to do that. You can just continue to move on and be happy, and know that it's okay to say the word no. Right?
No is a complete sentence. Even though I'm shaking my head, yes.
Yes,
no
right. But no
is a complete sentence. So,
exactly.
and think about it, just to take it a little bit further, when we see somebody asking for spare change, because a lot of us say no, yes, we do. Raise your hand. If the Band-Aid hurt when it come off, say ouch. But when people are asking for things that we don't want to give, we have no problem saying no. If we're on the phone talking and someone's asking for something, even if it's a Girl Scout, you want to buy something? No. It's the same thing. I mean, of course, everybody loves Girl Scout cookies. So sometimes we gotta say
That's
no.
why I need to be saying no, because I don't need no more cookies, okay?
Well, my niece is a Girl Scout, so I'm kind of stuck saying yes. You know, like, okay, I got your box. Okay, this is how many I'll order. I'm like, honey, how many you want to order? Okay, of what kind? Okay, all right. Well, here you go. Here you go.
Yes, take them work and leave them there so you won't feel guilty afterwards, right?
That's what, and I do that. And then people at work gotta say no. But I'm like, oh, I'm not taking them back home. And
exactly.
And I buy sugary stuff. Maybe this is a little sabotage. This is a little bad. I do that to my students. I buy them like those little bite-sized little candies and stuff. Like if it's a holiday, Valentine's Day, Christmas, Easter, whatever. Here we go, little candy. Now, granted, in my class you're working out, so a little treat after class is not gonna hurt you. Now, if you're eating the whole bag of candy and taking a whole bowl with you, that's where you gotta say no.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but some people say, no, I don't need that. I just worked out. This is the time to have it because if you worked out hard enough, your metabolism is revving. So, granted, it's junk calories, but your body will burn. I mean, anybody in fitness will tell you that if you worked out hard enough, you can have a little bite-sized Snickers and go on your way and be about your business. Now, don't have a whole one if you just know you was two-stepping in the back. You can be like, oh, well, I don't need one because I ain't work out that hard.
Well, then on that note, well, before you go, why don't we tell everybody how they can find you, where they can get a hold of you? I'm gonna pull. I've been pulling it up anyway, but I want people, to get that last little bite in there about
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You can find me on Instagram or Move with T LLC. That's MOVEWITHTEELLC, all one word. You can also find me on Facebook, Move, separate word with, separate word T, comma, LLC. You can find me there. You can message me as well on movewitht@gmail.com. No LLC there because I started that before I became official. But it's movewitht@gmail.com if you have a question. If you want to host me and bring me to your city for a masterclass, I am available to bring some sunshine, some energy, some love and light to everybody out there. If you want to feel like a princess, I'm the one you want to call.
That's right.
Because I'll make sure you get the good feels and you get the workout in and you leave out feeling like you were accomplished. So that's how you can find me. How about you, Lady K?
Well, you can find me on any social media platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can find the WSBI LLC through all of those platforms. You can also find me through Author Kimberly M. McLemore LLC. You can also find me through Talk Radio and TV Network LLP and all those platforms. If you want to email me, I'm just gonna make this real easy to do the small one email because I got way too many email addresses now. It's like this is going to be crazy, but it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. But the other thing I was gonna say too, if you want to be a guest on the show, and in the 2019. Things are filling up extremely fast. I'm already up to the month of August. So if you're truly interested in being a part of this particular platform, you need to send a short bio, a pic, and a business logo. And that means you need to be official. And you want to send it to me at KMM123MCLEMORE@gmail.com. So it's important that you know if you want to be a guest, you need to be an official business on this show. Okay. And I'm saying that because we've had many people who come on. I find out they're really not official. And, I don't want to put out information and content that is not true and, not valuable and obviously not legal. So that's another thing that's important. So anyway, just want to say that if you want to be a guest, it is scrolling across the screen telling you what to send and who to send it to. But again, we have had another phenomenal night here on the show talking about a new topic trying some new things on this show with Mr. T and how we're handling stuff. And we're just excited. We really just want people to be more involved with us. We really want people to ask us questions. This is a live platform. So there's no reason why you can't get involved and be a part of our show. But again, we will be returning soon. We're here every month. I believe our next date coming up is going to be on, I want to say the 21st, I believe, as our next date of March that we will be back on the show. And we, like I said, we have a special edition, a truly special edition show, because we're going to be bringing on a new face to talk to us about what it means to be a Zen and being in the Zumba world as a new Zumba instructor, and so forth. And so we just got a whole lot of things we're going to talk about, having fun, nutrition, health, the whole 9 yards. So we look forward to seeing everybody soon. And do you have any last words before we pop off of here, Mr. T?
No.
I love it. All right. Okay, there you go. We are done for the night. We will see you soon. And it's been truly a blessing as usual to hang out with you. Love you, smooches. Always a pleasure. And of course, I will be seeing you soon. For everyone else, you all have a wonderful night. Remember, we'll be back here next month on the 21st. Same time, same place, from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be seeing you soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.